Okay. All right. So let's begin. Last time we talked about series and then the convergence of series, right? Based on the conditions or the criteria for convergence of the sequences which we study, right? So based on that, what we are going to do is we are going to see, right? Okay. So we are going to see the test for convergence, right? So theoretically, we see the results of convergence and we see how we can uh, determine the convergence of the series. So today, what we are going to see is we are going to see how uh, we can verify on certain examples that how a series will converge, right? So these are called tests for convergence. So we will do one by one, right? So we'll start with the concept called P series. Right, so the first one is called P series. So this series is of the form this. Right, so we consider the P series, right, with n belongs to natural numbers. Right. So this is what we call P series. Right. The series summation of 1 upon n to the power P. Right. So then what we are going to do is we are going to see what will happen for various values of P, right? So then P, is any real number, any positive number, right? Or negative number, any real number. N is a natural number. So we will see what will happen to this series, the convergence of this series based on various N, various values for P, right? Not N, for P. So first of all, this is kind of obvious for you, right? This is clear for you, right? So if P is between 0 and 1, then 1 up n to the power P is less or equal to n, right? So that is clear for you. So this implies 1 upon n is less or equal to 1 upon n to the power P for 0 less or equal to P less or equal to 1, right? So in this case, right, because the partial sum of the harmonic series are not bounded, right? This inequality says the partial sum of 1 upon n to the power p is not bounded for p less than 1, less or equal to 1, greater than 0, right? So clearly, then this we says this is divergent. This is kind of an intuitive feeling you can get, right? So, but mathematically we have to prove this, right? So this is one relation for p less than this. P is between 0 and 1, right? Not equal to, strictly greater than, because if p is 0, there is nothing there. Right? So it's on all 1. So, but we will actually prove the results, right, based on the values for p, right? So first results. As long as P is strictly greater than 1, the series is convergent. So we shall prove this, right? So in this case, right, so we shall show n to the power P is convergent, right? So let us take P greater than 1. Then you want to show the convergence, right? So you take the partial sum, right? Sn is k is running from 1 to n, 1 to the power 1 over k to the power P, right? So that should be the partial sum, right? So you know that how to write the partial sum. So the partial sum here is this, right? Right. So what we are going to do is to what we are going to do is we are going to consider a subsequence. You remember in the sequences, when we study the convergence of sequences, at some point we develop something called subsequences. And based on the convergence of subsequences, we talk about the convergence of the main sequence. So here also we are going to do similar kind of result, right? So we try to take the subsequence of the sequence, right? So that subsequence, what we are going to do is to if Sn is the sequence, right? So then S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6, and so on, right? So what we do is we take a subsequence, that is S sub 2 to the power n. So S2, S4, S8, those are the components we are going to take for subsequence, right? So you notice that your sequence is going to be S1, S2, S3, S4, and so on, right? So from the subsequence, what you do is you start with S2 and then go for S4, S8, S16, right? So that is how you create the subsequence. So, and then what we are going to do is we are going to look for the convergent of this subsequent only, right? So that is the idea here, right? So that's how we are going to deal with this problem. Okay, so we try to see the convergence of this subsequence, right? So we shall show two things. One is right. So we shall show these two results, right? So these two inequalities hold, right? So if we show these two inequalities, then we can required result, right? So this is just mechanical work, right? So I will just give you a type, right? So here, this is the idea, right? So what you do is, to show this, you start finding this, right? So s to the power 2n plus 1 minus s to the power 2 to the power n minus 1 minus 1, right? So if you find this difference, right? So this difference is basically, you can show that it is less or equal to, right, 1 upon 2 to the power n p, right, times 2n, right? So that is what given here, right? So this is one way of doing this, right? So you know the how to write the terms here, right? You know what is s2n plus 1, and you know what is n minus 1. So when you put those values and simplify, you get this inequality, right? Similarly, right, so when you continue this, you will obtain the other inequality as well, right? So by continuing, right, you can get the other inequality as well, right? So that is how you do the process, right? So continuing this, this leads to, right? So this is, I leave it as an exercise for you, right? So you need to show this work, and it will be posted on the LMS as well, right? So now if you continue doing this, right, again and again and again, right, after getting the inequality, right, you will get the other inequality as well, right? So you will get this. And so the continuing this lead to the other inequality. Now leads to this basically. I will write. Right. So in this sense, what you have is this, right? So if you show this, basically you will have s2 to the power n is increasing, right? So it is clearly increasing. That is no magic there, right? So you can easily see that s2n is an increasing sequence, right? But at the same time, by this relationship, combining these two relationships, right, you can see that s2n is bounded as well, right? And at the same time, you can say, right, so then by monotone convergence theorem, right, you can see that, right, by monotone convergence theorem, you can see that the sequence is converging, subsequence is convergent, right? So obviously, because the subsequence is converging, right, and the right, so, and obviously the sequence Sn is also monotone, right? That is clear, right? So then monotone sequence, and you have a converging subsequence. So by what you learn in sequences, right, one of the theories you learn in sequences, you will get that the sequence converges, right? So now there are other two cases which you can, I will leave, I'm going to leave it as an exercise again, because there's a lot of writing and computation involved in that. You can easily read the notes, and first you can try of your own, and then you can look at the notes later when we post it, right? So the other cases, for other cases, you can show that if P is between 0 and 1, or if P is negative, right? Both cases you have to do separately, right? So this you do as a separate case and this you do as a separate case. Both are different, right? So you can show that in both cases, the sequence, right? The series 1 upon n to the power p is a divergent series. So in that case, you can see that the the sequence of partial sums does not converge, right? So then obviously you know that the series diverges. So this is one test of a conversion, right? So this is one of the basic ideas for testing the convergence, right? So this theorem, again, I just give you a hint of how to do the proof, right? But in general, the results is what I'm going to focus more on, right? Because the proof is a lot of mechanical computation, which you can read later on and understand, right? So the basic idea here is this. So this is what you have now, right? So important thing is right. This result is very important because what we are going to learn next is the test for convergence, right? For those tests for convergence, this kind of results is very useful to test the convergence of other series as well, right? So the series summation of 1 upon n to the power p is convergent if and only if the power is greater than 1. This is very important, right? You have to know the results inside out, because later on, just after this, what we are going to do is we are going to start talking about test of convergences. Right, so test of convergences. If a series is given, how can we test whether the series is convergent, right? So for that, first I'm going to write all the tests and then I'm going to prove them later on, right? One by one, depending on the time we have. Right. So first test is absolute convergent test, right? Right. So the absolute convergent, right? If the series summation of US is absolutely convergent, right? That is, the meaning of absolute convergent is, right, summation of absolute value of UN is convergent. If the series is absolutely convergent, then right? So if the series is absolutely convergent, then you can say that the series is convergent, right? So absolute convergence means summation of absolute values of the components, right? If that series is convergent, then you can say that the series itself is convergent, right? So this is a very useful result for the convergent, right? So what you can do is you can take the absolute value of the terms of the sequence, right? And test whether that is convergent or not. If that is convergent, then you can say that the series itself is convergent. But the converse is not true. The converse is not true, right? So that is another important result. So that is convergent does not imply absolute convergence. Right? So convergent sequence does not imply absolute convergence. So if you want to show something is not true, right? So then what you do is you give a counter example, right? So I will give you a counter example. Right? So let's see the series. Right? So this series is convergent. Right? So this series is convergent. Right? So you can see that the sequence of partial sum is convergent here. So obviously the series itself is convergent, right? But right, so 1 upon absolute value of minus 1 to the power n plus 1 over n, right? So that is obviously, you know, summation of 1 upon n, right? So this is divergent. Okay, so you have a convergent sequence, but absolutely not convergent is not true, right? But if the sequence is absolutely convergent, then the sequence will always converge, right? So these are two different things you should carefully understand, right? If the sequence is absolutely convergent, that means summation of absolute value is convergent. If the series is absolutely convergent, that means the summation of absolute value of un is convergent, then the sequence is convergent. That is obvious, right? So, but if the sequence is convergent, then you cannot say it is absolutely convergent, right? This is an example of that. So this is the first test of convergence, right? So I'm going to say test 1, right? Test 1 is absolute convergence test, right? So you test for absolute convergence. And again, that is not that easy. Testing for absolute convergence is not that easy for all the problems, right? So you take the absolute value and then again you go for the you need to look for convergence of the series. So that might be difficult at some point, right? So then what we do is we go for another type of test. This test is called comparison test. Okay, so this test is called comparison test. The other one. Test 2, I'm going to write it as test 2 now, right? This is very interesting test because this is quite often used to verify the convergence of a series, right? Because you always, if as long as you can compare the series with a very well-known series, then you can always apply the comparison test, right? So here what you do is you are going to apply a comparison between a well-known series and a given series, right? Say for example, you know that 1 upon n to the power p is convergent if and only if p is greater than 1. So 1 upon n squared is convergent. You know that summation of 1 upon n squared. 1 upon n to the power 10 is convergent. So you know that result, right? So you already have the result. So what you do is if a series is given, then you can compare that given series with 1 upon n to the power p, right? And then by using that comparison, you look for the convergence. So this is more like a sandwich theorem we studied in the sequences in chapter 2, right? If you remember sandwich theorem, what we see is you have a sequence xn and you have a sequence yn, and if you have a sequence in the middle zn, right, whenever x and yn are converging to the same limit, then the middle of the middle sequence which lies in between xn and yn will also converge to the same limit. That is what we studied in the sandwich theorem in second chapter. So here also we are going to do the same kind of a thing, right? So if un is a given series, right, and if you can put it in between 0 and another component vn, right, and if the larger series is convergent, then you can say that the middle term is convergent. So that is what I am going to write here, right? So this is the comparison test. So if you have 0 less or equal to un less or equal to vn for all n, right? If this is true, right, then you have two results. One is sorry. So if you have the components of the series, right, un and vn are lies, so example un lies in between 0 and vn for all n, right? So in that case, if the larger series with the larger components converges, then the small sequence with the smaller component also converges. Or if the sequence with the smaller component diverges, then you can see that the sequence with the larger component also diverges, right? So this is one of the very useful tests we can use to verify the convergence of the series, right? So let me give you some examples. Before I will come back to these proofs later at some point, right? First I will do some examples here, right? So example. So let me try to see my series 1 upon n plus 1 quantity square. Now the question is whether this series will converge or not, right? So that is what you have to do, right? So it's not clear. Right, so you have summation of n plus 1 quantity square. Another question is, will this series converge or not, right? So what I am going to do is I am going to do a comparison test. So what I do is I will try to put n plus 1. So obviously this is true. This is very clear for you, right? So 1 upon n plus 1 is always greater or equal to 0 because n is a natural number, right? N plus 1 quantity squared, because this is the term in the sequence now. So it is n plus 1 quantity squared. But by the way natural numbers are ordered, right, you can clearly say this is less or equal to 1 upon n square, right? So that is clear because n plus 1 is larger than n. So n plus 1 squared is larger than n squared. So clearly 1 upon n plus 1 squared is smaller than n squared, right? So this is true for all n. Right? Therefore, right, so you have this kind of a result, right? 0 less or equal to 1 upon n plus 1 squared less or equal to n squared. So now the middle is the one you are looking for, right? So if you prove summation of n squared is convergent, then you are done, right? So that is what you need to show. Summation of n squared is convergent. But this is convergent because of the very first results I told you in today's class, right? I did not do the proof, but I just give you the result, right? 1 upon n to the power p is convergent if and only if p is greater than 1. So here p is 2. So clearly 1 upon n squared is convergent. So now by comparison test, I know that summation of 1 plus n squared is convergent. Okay, so this is how you do comparison test, right? If a series is given, right, then you can always compare, right, and verify that whether the sequence is convergent or not, right? So this is how you can do this. Let me give you 2 more examples and I will do 1 more. Example 2. 1 upon square root of 2n minus 1. Right? So we will see whether this series will converge or not. Right? So first thing I can see is this. Right? So 0 less or equal to 1 upon square root of n is less or equal to 1 upon square root of 2n minus 1. So this is very clear. Right? 2n, I can put 2n, doesn't matter. Right? So 2n itself is enough. Right? 1 upon square root of 2n is less or equal to 1 upon square root of 2n minus 1, because clearly 2n minus 1 is larger, sorry, smaller. So square root of 2n minus 1 is 1 upon square root of 2n minus 1 is large. But again, this results, we see that 1 upon n is, n to the power p is convergent if n is between 0 and p. Square root is half power, right? So 1/2 power. So you know that in this case, p is 1 upon 2. So clearly, so I will write this way. Right, so square root of 2n, you can say 1 upon square root of 2 times n to the power 1/2, right? So again, by the same results I wrote earlier, is divergent. So by comparison test, I have 1 upon 2n smaller than 1 upon root of 2n minus 1, but the smaller series is divergent, so bigger one is divergent, right? So that is also divergent. Okay, so these are examples of convergence and divergence by using comparison test. Right, so as an homework, I will give you 1 more problem. So you look for this series. 2 to the power n plus 4 to the power n over 3 to the power n plus 5 to the power n. Okay, so that I give you as a homework. Similar type of results, you can use comparison test to verify the convergence of that sequence. Right. So this is comparison test. Then again, some cases it is difficult to compare, right? Because for these, say for example, if this is 1 upon n plus 1 squared, you know that is obviously less than 1 upon n squared, right? So, and then 1 upon square root of 2n plus minus 1. So you obviously know it is greater than 1 upon square root of 2n. So those kind of results you can easily see, right? Because you can easily compare. But there are some series which are difficult to compare, because if you are comparing, you have to compare with some kind of 1 upon n to the power p results, because that is the most easiest result for you to have, right? So you will always try to compare with 1 upon n to the power p, or you can compare with some other series as well, which you know that obviously they are convergent. Otherwise, you have to prove the convergence of that series as well. So that is the case with the comparison test. It is useful, but in very small cases, some special cases, it may not be useful. So then what we have to do is we have to go for the more powerful test, right? A more powerful test than this. That is called limit comparison test. So that our third test is going to be limit comparison test. Okay, let's take about the third test, which is called limit comparison test. So this time what we are going to do is we are going to compare, at the same time we are going to compare some limits, right? So comparison test, we just compare the components of the series. Now what we are going to do is we are going to consider some kind of a limit for the comparison test. So here, let's say what we need. Again, comparison. So we will have two series. So two components, right? So let's say these are positive components. Okay, so let's say the components in the series, right? Un and Vn are positive for all n. And at the same time, the ratio between Un and Vn, right? So Un over Vn, that limit is equal to L as n goes to infinity, right? So the ratio between this and that goes to a limit L. So by looking at those limits, we can verify the convergence of the series summation of Un and summation of Vn. So based on the limit, we are going to have the three results, right? So if so clearly, because these components are larger than 0, you know that limit is obviously greater or equal to 0, right? Each component is greater or equal to 0, so limit is always greater or equal to 0. So the first case is if limit is non-zero but finite, right? In this case, so in this case, both Un and Vn converge or diverge together, right? So if Un converges, Vn will also converge. If Vn converge, Un will also converge, and or vice versa. If Un is divergent, then Vn will also be divergent. If Vn is divergent, then Un is also divergent, right? So in this case, you don't need to worry about which sequence is smaller, which sequence is larger. Those kind of questions are out of order now, right? If you look for the comparison test, you have to have an idea about whether you have to find a big sequence or smaller big component or smaller component to compare, right? So sometimes to prove convergent, you need larger components. Also, sometimes to prove divergent, you need a smaller component. Like my example one, I need for a larger component, I look for a larger component. And example two, I look for a smaller component. So now you might wonder why I need to go for that way. But what will happen if you go the other way around? So if you go the other way around, you might end up with no results in that case. So, but here the thing is, you don't need to worry about whether you are choosing a larger component or smaller component. As long as you take the limit of un over vn goes, and if the limit is finite, then just by looking at the sequence, if you know one is divergent, the other one is divergent. If one is convergent, other one is convergent. Right. Now the other results. So the other case, L is equal to 0 case, right? If L is equal to 0, right, then what you have is, right, so then what you have is this. Okay. Right, so if L is 0, then Vn converges implies Un converges, right? If the sequence on the denominator, the terms on the denominator, the series with the terms on the denominator converges, then the series with the terms on the numerator will also converge, right? So if the limit is 0. The other case, obviously, if the limit is infinity, right? Positive infinity. In that case, divergent. Right? So in this case, if the series summation of Vn diverges, then the summation Un will also diverge, right? So this is the comparison, limit comparison test. So let me do one example before finishing this. Right? So let me try one example.
Board not clear, sir.
The example is this. Okay, so same example, I will use the same example, right? Because that is easy. Summation of n plus 1 quantity squared, right? So you already know this is a convergent series, right? So what we do is, I take same un, that is equal to n plus 1 quantity squared, and same Vn, I take 1 upon n squared, because I know 1 upon n squared summation is convergent. So I take a non-sequence, non-series as well, right? So what you do is, you take the limit of un over Vn, n goes to infinity, that is limit of n goes to infinity, un is 1 upon n plus 1 squared over 1 upon n squared, that is basically limit of n goes to infinity, n squared over n plus 1 squared, right? So this limit, you by using your first year, A level knowledge, you can see that this limit is 1. Right? So that is your A level work. So you know that limit is 1. So then it comes under first case, right? Limit exists and finite, right? So if the limit exists and finite, right, then both of them converge and diverge together. But you know summation of Vn is convergent. Therefore, summation of Un is also convergent, right? So that is how you do this limit comparison test, right? So we will stop here, and Saturday class you will have tutorials, right? So we will continue working on some tutorials on Saturday, and Monday I will continue this series, and again next Tuesday we will have tutorial class, right? So that is how we are going to have the next 3 classes. Saturday tutorial, Monday series continues, and Tuesday again tutorial, right? So that is how it will go. I will stop here and then continue on Monday. Saturday you will have tutorial.